Hi guys! How do I get more power into my smash or more length into my clear? That's probably the most frequently asked question a badminton coach gets, and I also got a lot of questions about that. So I decided to make a detailed tutorial about all the different aspects about getting power into your forehand overhand shots. So in this tutorial I will cover 3 areas. The first area, we will have a closer and detailed look on the movement of a smash and a clear. In the second part, we will look at the different phases of that shot, and also I will show you some exercises and give you some tips how you can train that part if you see that's probably where you have the problems or where you have some room for development. And in the third part, regarding the thing we had before, I will show you some common mistakes, how you can also detect your mistakes and then in the end know where you should train on and where your deficits are, so where you can get more power out of your movement and more power into your smash. So I hope you're excited about this one. Let's get started. If we have a look at good players, we can see that they smash out of many different positions, and also with different footwork. For example, if they jump to the side or if they jump to the back, they can still hit a very hard smash. But the problem here is if I have the shuttle beside me or behind me, I can only generate power through my arm. So we will also look closer at the upper body, at the arm movement, but in this video we will also focus on using the whole body for the smash, because that's when you really get power into it, when you can put your whole body into it and use just not only your arm but also your legs, your hip and so on. So the first thing and the key thing for this is the right positioning. You always have to be to get behind the shuttle if you want to put your body into the shot. So that's the first thing. Try to get behind the shuttle and also put your weight on the rear foot. Now for the shot, now we can push forward and also use our hip. That's the next step. I will get closer to that. But now that's a good position from our legs, and for me as a right-handed player, my left body side is turned into direction of the net. So here in this direction. For the upper body, for the starting position here, there can be some differences in some different players, but really important thing is your elbow, that you also get that behind your body. If my opponent would look at me before the shot, he shouldn't be able to see my elbow. So try to hide it behind you. Try to keep the racket head up. Doesn't matter if it's here, if it's here, if it's here, but I would recommend that the ankle in your elbow is smaller than 90 degrees. So, and also try to keep the elbow low, so under your shoulder. Don't get up here in the starting position for your smash. So get it a little bit downwards. We will come to that also, why it is so important. Second thing, get up your left arm, so you have some stability in that starting position, and now from this position you can really play a powerful smash now. I already said in the beginning, we want to create power with our full body. But what does it actually mean and how does it work? The most important thing here is the timing of the different movements we do. For that, it is very important to create some tension with one movement and then use that tension with the next movement. You will often hear the word kinetic chain, and now I will explain you what is meant by that. So in the movement, in this example, when we're standing behind the shuttle, have that starting position we talked about, you start the movement with the pushing of your right leg and get your right hip to the front. And now, important thing, we keep our shoulder and our elbow in the back, and what is happening, I create some tension here in my body. And if I do that, I can use that to accelerate my arm to get some extra power up here. The importance is, the most important thing is the right timing. If I wait, I will lose that tension or I will lose that power. If I get too early in front with the arm, I also don't get any tension. So it has to be right followed by the arm, that movement. So get your hip in front first, and when you feel, okay, now I have some tension here, use that to get some extra acceleration for your arm movement. This hip movement is not the only example for creating that tension, that pre-tension we want to use. We also do that with our upper body and especially with our arm. So when you have the hip in front, get your elbow forward first, and now you also create some tension here. If you go into this position here, you will feel some tension here that you can also now use to stretch and rotate your arm. And that's the final part of the movement. When your elbow is up here, then you start stretching and rotating your arm and then follow through. Okay, let's have a closer look at different parts of the movement. And in the first part I started down up, so I started where the movement also starts with the hip. Now we want to start with the last thing, but probably the most important thing to generate power is the right grip and forearm rotation. In my grip tutorial I already explained why the V grip or the standard grip is so important. Like, one more time, for the V grip we hold the racket like this, and then just imagine you want to shake its hand, and then here you can see a V on top of your racket. And now that's the perfect grip to get most power out of forearm rotation into your shots, and that's also why we want to use it for smash, for clear, to create that maximum power in the shot. Really important here, besides the grip, is also being relaxed before and after your shot. And only in the moment of impact, try to squeeze that grip and tighten it for a very short time and then relax it again. That will give you some extra power in the smash. A very good shot or a very good exercise to do that is practicing this a movement called stick smash. Stick smash is a smash where we mainly want to use only forearm rotation, and after the smash, if we do it in the right way, the racket will automatically bounce back. So you can see that here in the video where I'm practicing it, you will probably play the smash cross downwards because of the outwards rotation movement, and if you relaxed after the shot, your racket will bounce back. That's a good feedback for you if you did it the right way, and so you can see, did I put enough or did I put a lot of rotation in it or not. If you work with your wrist, then your racket will stay down, fall down, and you don't get that feedback of a rebound here. So really good exercise to see if you're good at that. One really important thing in the movement is the elbow, as I already explained in the first part, and some players have a problem to get the elbow in front of the hand, in front of the racket, and that is really important to create some power and also have that kinetic chain up here in the arm. So good practice for that. If you just try to work isolated on your arm, you can stand still, or you can also kneel on something. That's also a good idea. Then you really have an isolated movement up here in the arm, and try to get the elbow really far in front of you at this point, and then hit the shuttle with stretching the arm and the thing we said before, rotation and tightening the grip. Get the elbow to the front and then hit it with power as hard as you can. So last thing here for this part, we want to talk about the body rotation, especially the hip, but also I said in the starting position, get your elbow far to the back, and that will help you to have a much longer way to generate power, to accelerate. If my elbow is here, then there's almost no room for acceleration. So get it far behind you, and now you can see, even, especially when I have it down, there's a really long way for my elbow to create some speed to accelerate. So really important thing here. And as I said, the left side should point towards the net. The right hip should be in the back, and now here we want to start the movement. Probably the best way to practice that is just by throwing something. You can take some shuttles and throw them and try to focus on the movement of the hip, to go forward with the hip first and the arm stays back, and then you use that tension you create here to throw. So for example, the easiest thing is just standing. As I said, starting position, the weight is on the right leg, or for me as a right-handed player, on the right leg. Then I push the hip forward and then the arm follows. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult and also a little bit more complex, you can also put 1 or 2 steps in it, like a little bit like if you want to throw a javelin, you go forward and you bring your hip forward first. One more time. 1, 2. And try to feel that your hip is going first and you have that tension here in your body, and use it to accelerate your arm. As I said, for the last part, we want to have a closer look at some common mistakes that you may see at other players, or you may also feel that you are doing that wrong. And with the last part, you probably have some ideas how you can practice if you see some of those common mistakes. First mistake, and that's probably the most classic one, is the wrong grip, like using a panhandle grip. So V-grip turned 90 degrees, and now I can probably hit a lot easier the shots, but I only have a very small space to accelerate. Usually I'm also standing like this to the net and I'm not turning. So there are a lot of different mistakes that will happen when you use the panhandle grip, and you also probably use your wrist, and that will not give you as much power as you could get as by using forearm rotation that I already described before. So that's probably the biggest mistake for beginners in the beginning: wrong grip, panhandle grip. So try to get rid of that. I also gave you the exercise with hitting beside your body to get the elbow in front, and that's the problem for many players, that the timing of the elbow is maybe too early, that they have to wait with the elbow in front and then hit it, or more common mistake is that the elbow is coming too late and it's more like a movement with the full arm. What could also help you here is drawing something on the inside of your elbow here, and then try, you don't have to use a shuttle or anything, just try to throw the elbow forward so you can see what's written here on the inside of your elbow, and that will give you a good feedback if your elbow really gets to the front or not. If I cannot see it, then probably the arm is coming as a whole, but we want to get the elbow first and then forearm and racket follows. Next common thing is the wrong timing of the hip and the arm. You can see that here. So now I have the problem, I don't generate any power through my hip movement. There's no pre-tension, so I will lose a lot of power through that, and you can also see that in the speed, in the length of your shots, if you get the movement, or if you do the movement at the same time. So here you also got the things with throwing in the beginning. That might be the thing that could help you here to get a better timing of your hip and arm movement. Last but not least, one really important tip that I've seen with a lot of players, that they are really tense, they are not relaxed at all before the shot. And what is happening now, I think the best example is the arm. When I have a tight grip, then automatically my forearm also gets really tight. I'm not relaxed at all. And now if I throw my elbow forwards, you see my racket head is not falling back, and it's really hard to get into this position that we talked about before. So I don't create that pre-tension. Same here with my hip. If I'm really tensed with my full body, then the whole movement will come as one. But if I stay relaxed with the upper body and get the hip forward, then I create that tension. So if you want to have a good kinetic chain and have a flowing movement, then you need to be relaxed with especially the upper body when the hip is coming, and also with the forearm and grip when the elbow is coming. Try to be relaxed as long as possible, and only in the very last moment tighten the grip, and then you get tension in your forearm for a really short period of time. But that is really a key thing. Try to focus on that. If you are one of these people that try to put 110% power into the shot, then probably that's your problem, that you limit yourself by being too tensed, being not relaxed enough. Okay guys, so much for that. A really detailed look at the clear and smash movement. I hope this video helped you to get more power and give you some new ideas on how to create more speed in your smash, in your clear. And if you have any further questions, just let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button in the end, and I hope see you next time. Bye bye.